All right, let's dive in. We are in the middle of an absolute AI gold rush, right? It feels like a new startup is launching every single minute. But with so many popping up, you gotta wonder, how many of them are actually built to last? Well, today, we're gonna dig into exactly that. We'll look at the hidden reasons so many of these new companies fail, and more importantly, what the survivors are doing differently to build something that really endures. This quote right here just perfectly nails the huge, dangerous paradox in AI today. You see, the tools to build things are more powerful and accessible than they have ever been. And that sounds great, right? But it's created this massive problem. When literally anyone can build something, it becomes incredibly difficult to build something that actually lasts. And this is that problem in a nutshell. We're calling it the AI paradox. On one side, yeah, you can spin up a functional product like faster than ever before. But on the other side, that exact same ease of creation just floods the market, making it unbelievably hard to build something that's truly defensible, something with a real long-term business model. So let's get right to the heart of this paradox. A lot of these new products, they're just AI wrappers. And what that really means is they're just a thin layer of design slapped on top of a simple call to an AI model's API. This whole trend is being fueled by a new and pretty risky style of development that some people are calling vibe coding. Vibe coding feels amazing at first. I mean, you just describe what you want, the AI spits out the code, and if it kind of seems to work, you ship it. The speed is totally addictive. But what's happening under the surface is you're racking up this massive hidden tax, technical debt, major architectural blind spots, and honestly, a dangerously shallow understanding of your own product. And this table lays out the contrast perfectly. The whole goal of vibe coding is just to get it working. But professional engineering, that's about making it viable. And just look down the list, where one approach says quality is, hey, it runs. The other one demands reviews and tests. Where one sees security as something to worry about later, the other builds it in from the start. It is a fundamental trade-off between short-term speed and long-term survival. And that trade-off, well, it leads directly here. Let's take a little walk through what we're calling the wrapper graveyard, where all these startups built on vibe coding learn the hard way that a fancy prompt is not a defensible product. First up, chat with my PDF. Oh man, a classic example. You upload a PDF, you chat with it. It's a neat feature, for sure, but it is not a business. Dozens of clones popped up literally overnight, and then, of course, the big platforms just added it for free. The lesson here? If your entire company can be copied in a weekend, you can bet it will be. Then you have something like GPT Flirt, which, you guessed it, generated AI pickup lines. A fun idea for a hackathon, maybe, but it turns out there isn't really a market for outsourcing your flirting. This is just a perfect example of a solution that's desperately looking for a problem. And my personal favorite, Meeting GPT. It promised to summarize your calls. The problem? Well, it hallucinated. One of its summaries famously claimed that the team had agreed to fire its CEO and pivot to making soup. This just shows the critical danger of relying on an AI you don't actually control for important stuff. If you don't own the intelligence, you can't guarantee the results. Okay, so now let's talk about the hard numbers, because even if your little wrapper works perfectly, the economics of this model are often, well, they're completely unsustainable. First, let's just talk about getting customers in the door. In a market that's this flooded, attention is incredibly expensive. As you can see here, customer acquisition costs have just skyrocketed, over 200% in less than a decade. Just getting someone to even look at your product is harder and way pricier than ever. And what does that look like in actual dollars? Well, the average cost to get just one single sauce customer is over $700. Now, let's say your wrapper is a simple $10 a month subscription. The math here is, it's just brutal. You would need that customer to stick around for nearly 6 years. 6 years just to break even on what you spent to find them. And on top of all that, it takes longer than ever to close a deal, an average of 134 days. So just think about that. You're spending more money over a longer period of time to win customers who can just easily switch to a dozen identical competitors tomorrow. The deck is completely stacked against you. This isn't a business model, it's a leaky bucket. So, if the whole wrapper model is a leaky bucket, how do you fix it? Well, you stop trying to patch the holes and you start building a fortress. You build a moat. A moat is a defensible, strategic advantage that protects your business from competitors, and it's the real answer to this whole AI paradox. The good news is there isn't just one way to build a moat. As you can see here, you could build it on unique data, deep domain expertise, specific local knowledge, or even by mastering a complex workflow. These are your strategic options. So let's look at a few companies that have done this brilliantly. First up, the data moat. Take a look at Caro, an automotive marketplace over in Southeast Asia. They don't just connect buyers and sellers. No, they've integrated the entire car ownership lifecycle. We're talking financing, insurance, maintenance. Every single transaction feeds their AI with proprietary data, which makes their pricing and financing models smarter. And this creates a virtuous cycle. The more customers they get, the smarter their system gets, which makes their service even better and way harder for anyone else to copy. Next up is the expertise moat. Azwan Tunai is an Indonesian fintech that provides financing to small businesses. Now, their moat comes from embedding their service directly into their customers' daily operations with a proprietary ERP system. This gives them access to real-time transaction data, which then fuels an AI risk model that is way more accurate than traditional credit scoring. And the proof? During the pandemic, their non-performing loan rate was just 3%, while the industry average shot up to over 20%. That is a durable, expertise-driven advantage. And finally, let's consider the localization moat with a company like Wiz AI. They build conversational AI specifically for Southeast Asian markets. Now, while the global giants have these powerful generalized models, Wiz AI's bots are trained on local accents, dialects, and all the cultural nuances. And the result? 98% of users can't even tell they aren't speaking to a human. That is a powerful defense that those big general models just can't easily replicate. See, all of this requires a fundamental shift in how you think. You have to move away from being a vibe coder, who is basically just a typist telling an AI what to do, and become an architect who designs an entire defensible system. And that all starts by asking the right questions. This slide right here, this is the architect's playbook. You have to be able to answer every single one of these questions. What truly makes your moat unique? How does it actually get stronger, not weaker, as you scale? And how are you going to defend yourself against both the scrappy little startup and the tech giant with bottomless pockets? Your moat isn't just a feature you see. It's the core of your company's entire value. And this all brings us to one final crucial thought. In this age of AI, the act of simply typing code is becoming a commodity. The real, durable value is shifting. It's no longer about building things right. It's about building the right thing inside of a defensible system. So the question you really have to ask yourself is this: are you using AI to be a faster typist, or are you using it to become a better architect?